Up next, Ms. Nancy Shaver. The third question. In an August 5th article in Historic City News, you say the city has no sewer replacement plan or funding estimate, even though they are proceeding with the addition of sanitary sewer mains outside the city limits. Explain this and how you would address it.
Thank you very much for that question. We've talked a lot about infrastructure this evening. Let me tick off what we don't know about the infrastructure in our cities and some of the things we do know. Our water lines are scheduled for replacement. The total cost of that is estimated at $16 million. That does not replace 50% of some of the pipes, so you really need to think of it in terms of a $23 million bogey. We have no funding plan for that. We have not assessed our sewers ever. We don't know. Ken mentioned he'd like to have an assessment, know where we are. We don't know where we are with sewers. What we do know is in the last 6 months, there have been 14 sewer backups. I spoke to a man, I'm knocking on doors just like Todd, in Davis Shores, where he said he experienced 2 sewer backups and was selling his home. So that's the sewer piece of things. So that's water, that's sewer. Now let's get to potholes and roads. We have 66 miles of road in the city. What we have not done is we have not assessed them in 10 years, which I think Mr. Boles was when you joined the commission. So since that time, we have no plans. We have spent no money on street repair until this year, where we budgeted $100,000. So that's maintaining. That's not understanding where we are with streets. In the city, we can pave, we can't mill, and we can't do substrate. We've had 3 trucks fall through the streets in the last, I think, 3 years. So we clearly need to understand where we are with infrastructure. Stormwater, we've had pilot projects that we spent $6 million on. What we really need is a pumping station. So the answer to the question is we need to understand where we are, we need to plan the funding, and we need to see how much the city can borrow and absorb.
Next up, Mayor Joe Boles. Your third question. In that same article, Historic City News, August 5th article, writes in the title that you suffer from, and I quote, Pinocchio syndrome, in reference to a claim that the city lacks proper documented infrastructure planning. Where can we see that documentation?
Well, we'll set the question and its implications aside. Just the ones sitting around my office. Review of current city regulations for on-site runoff control. Annual water main improvements 2014. Water main improvements for 2013. The City of St. Augustine Public Works Progress Report. The Black and Beach Study, showing $23 million worth of plans needed, but that includes West Augustine. Here we have the summary recommendations for the Stormwater Master Plan. There's 2 phases of that. One's already been implemented and done. You can see it on the vacant on-site stormwater controls and options. City of St. Augustine, West Augustine CRA, including infrastructure. Lincolnville CRA that includes infrastructure. Here's a list of all the streets that have been repaved the last 1 to 3 years. We've got 13, we've got 3 in place now, 4 for next year. Last 1 to 3 years, we've got 22 that were repaved in the last 2 years. That's those are water main projects, 13. So that's right here. I've got extra copies if you want to see them, see if your street's coming up. And then we've got this 2009 Historic Area Strategic Plan. All of this stuff is being implemented. But when you've got to have money, it takes a little time. Now, you don't want your taxes to go up. And we've got great ideas. You've heard some of them. We've got to generate extra revenue in the city, or your taxes will go up. And we have a lucky, wonderful opportunity. We've got a mooring field that generates revenue, $300 a ball. We've got a city marina that generates revenue. We've got a parking system, surface parking, that is the 2nd highest revenue source in our general fund, for us to spend any way we want. We jumped the rate to $10 in the parking garage, gave us an extra $1 million the first year. I think we're going to 15 and nobody blinked an eye. Thank you.